Hello everyone, MFPallytime here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well today. We're gonna do something a little different. I've never given you guys this much control over the content that could potentially be on the channel, but here we are. Today we're gonna take our first look at Pathfinder and the Wrath of the Righteous. This is a brand new game that just released on Steam. It was crowdfunded, just like Pathfinder Kingmaker was a few years ago. And a lot of people have asked me to check it out. Just in case this is your first time stumbling across my content, I have about 700 hours in Divinity Original Sin 2. Absolutely love that game, and we've done several playthroughs of that here on the channel. I just started playing D&D recently and understanding some of those mechanics, but that hasn't stopped me from playing through Baldur's Gate 3 and the early access content that game has. I think 6 times I've beaten that thing now. I played the original Pathfinder Kingmaker, or I guess I should say the previous Pathfinder game, and felt completely overwhelmed, but that was before I kind of sunk my teeth into the systems of D&D. There is some crossover between the Pathfinder rule set and the D&D rule set, but I'm still a beginner, and I'm still learning, but I do have, I got a little bit to go off of this time. A lot of people have asked me to check this game out. And it's a doozy of a game. From what I understand, an extremely long title. So, here's what I'm offering. If you want me to play through this game, if you want me to get in character, dive deep into the story, and more importantly, narrate a lot of what this game has to offer, because the game does have voice acting. I asked my friend Tim, who's about 20 hours in at this point, and he said about 50% of the game is voice acted. So good old Walter's gonna be doing a little bit of narrating if we get down and dirty into this. But I am gonna do it. If this video hits 1,100 likes by the time I get back from vacation, which should be early next week, we will continue this series where we leave off today. If it doesn't, that's totally okay. This will just be our first look at the game, going over the character creator, going over the tutorial, and hopefully starting to see where some of the breadcrumbs of the story may lead. I've played about 4 hours of this game so far over on Twitch, and if we do pick up this series and we do keep it going, I'm going to be streaming this weekly over there. I haven't picked a day yet, but our recording sessions will be live for this, and I'm expecting the episodes to be about an hour in length, at least, you know, at an hour of gameplay edited down, That's the plan. The ball is now in your court, and I am going to make a new character. There's going to be timestamps down in the video description, and it'll change the play bar here on YouTube. So if you don't want to see this creation, you just want to get into seeing a little bit of what the game has to offer, then by all means, skip ahead. Use your best judgment. This took me quite a long time on stream to get through, but luckily for me, I kind of know what I want to play this time. So this is the main story. Join the struggle against the world wound, the epic war between Galorian and the Abyss that has raged for more than 100 years. Up to now, the Crusader armies have barely managed to curb the overwhelming enemy forces, but not for much longer. The Demon Lords are preparing to strike a decisive blow. You will have to harness mythical powers, take command of the 5th Crusade, and lead it against the demonic hordes. Sounds very, very intriguing. We're going to play on just straight normal difficulty. However, this game does have a really cool option. You can choose to play through the game in real-time combat with pause. So kind of like Mass Effect, referencing that again, where everything's kind of happening in real time, but you can hit a button to get a more tactical view. Or you can play in turn-based mode like Divinity or Baldur's Gate 3, I guess I should say. That's what I'm going to do. I love turn-based mode. I think it totally lends itself to my commentary style and my decision-making. So that's what we're going to do. As you're creating a character, there are 6 pre-mades that you can take a look at, and it seems like they have varying shades of background and playstyle. However, we're going to make a custom character today, and I already have the character in mind that I want to play, so hopefully character creation isn't going to be too ridiculous for us. First things first, we need to select a portrait for our character, and I'm planning on playing as a tiefling, so I think that this portrait will do for me. This is a portrait of a Pathfinder Kingmaker character, which again, I know nothing about, so sorry if this was a really important character that I'm now just hijacking. Unfortunately, that's how this is going to be. I do want to play as a druid, and a Fae Speaker is the class that is interesting me at the moment. But what are druids? Druids are guardians of balance, nature, and the elements. They have access to the most powerful divine magic coming from their connection with the natural world. In a battle, druids can empower their allies and their animal companions, summon creatures to aid them, or control or weaken their enemies. While we were playing on stream, I did try out a primal druid and actually had a pretty fun time with it. But today we're going to make a Fae Speaker. I read this description and knew that it was something that I wanted to pursue. Some druids hear the whispers of the natural world like Fae creatures do, and learn to mimic those tantalizing murmurs in order to influence the minds of both wild beasts and civilized people. These Fae Speakers are often touched by the Fae in some way, such as mortals who dared to eat the food and drink the wine while in the hidden halls of the Fae. This is going to give us a few class skills. For instance, in athletics, lore, specifically with nature, it's going to improve our perception, our knowledge of the world at large, our knowledge of magic, and persuasion. At level 1, we are going to lose spontaneous summoning. I don't know why my scroll keeps resetting here. We're going to lose spontaneous summoning, so we're not even going to go over that, but we will have nature sense. A druid gains +2 bonus to lore and nature checks. Druid proficiencies. Druids are proficient with the following weapons: club, dagger, dart, quarterstaff, scimitar, scythe, sickle, short spear, sling, and spear. They are also proficient with all natural attacks, being that claws, bites, and so forth, of any form that they assume while in wild shape. I don't believe we'll be taking too many wild shapes, but I believe that another character could transform us if the situation ever got there, but I might be wrong. Druids are proficient with light and medium armor, but are prohibited from wearing metal armor. Thus, they may wear only padded leather or hide armor. A druid may also wear wooden armor that has been altered by the Ironwood spell, so that it functions as if it were steel. Are you starting to get a little overwhelmed? Because at about this point, I definitely was the first time we were looking through this. We're also going to be getting nature bound. At first level, a druid forms a bond with nature. This bond can take one of two forms. The first is a close tie to the natural world, granting the druid one of the following cleric domains: air, animal, earth, fire, plant, water, or weather. We are going to be going with the plant domain, and we'll read more about that in just a moment. And last but not least, the alignment restriction just means that we have to behave certain ways. We're kind of locking ourselves in. All right, let's continue forward. We are going to be playing as a tiefling with the Shackleborn subclass. So what are tieflings? Simultaneously more and less than mortal. Tieflings are the offspring of humans and fiends, with otherworldly blood and traits to match. Tieflings are often shunned and despised out of reactionary fear. Most tieflings never know their fiendish sire, as the coupling that produced their curse occurred generations earlier. The taint is a long-lasting and persistent, often manifesting at birth or sometimes later in life as a powerful, though often unwanted, boon. Despite their fiendish appearance and netherworld origins, tieflings have a human's capacity for choosing their fate. And while many embrace their dark heritage and side with fiendish powers, others reject their darker predilections. Though the power of their blood claws nearly every tiefling to fury, destruction and wrath, even the spawn of a succubus can become a saint, and the grandchild of a pit fiend, an unsuspecting hero. So just because we're half demon doesn't mean we're that bad. I'm gonna go with Shackleborn. Shackleborn are fascinated by mutilation and torture. Though they prefer to practice their cruel art on others, they accept that sometimes the wheel must turn and greet their own moments of anguish and confinement with an odd serenity. The main reason we're going for this is it's going to give us a bonus to Constitution and Charisma. Charisma is going to be our main casting stat. It's also going to dump our Wisdom a little bit, but give us bonuses to Mobility and Persuasion. It's also going to allow us to use the web spell once a day, which just sounds kind of cool to be able to shoot out a web. I was kind of into that. That's why I like that. Our background is going to be a nomad wanderer. Nomads add lore nature to the list of her class skills. She also becomes proficient with scimitars. Nomad's animal companion gets a +3 bonus to its maximum hit points. If a character already has a class skill, weapon proficiency, or armor proficiency granted by the selected background from her class during character creation, then the corresponding bonuses from the background change to +1 competence bonus in case of skill and +1 enhancement bonus in case of weapon proficiency. You see what I mean? This is like so overwhelming at times. Why are we doing this? It makes our pet better. And if we can get a scimitar, then we can use that too. But also, I just like the idea for the background. Now, our charisma is going to be our main casting modifier, so we can already pump that up to 20. That actually seems ridiculous. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Maybe 18 here would be better. Our wisdom doesn't need to be great, but I don't want it to be negative. I do kind of want to buff up my constitution just in case, but mostly we're going to be standing back and casting whenever possible. I do think there are some fates that intelligence might lend itself to me using. Let's lower it and actually get some dexterity so we have an armor class and a little bit of initiative bonus. That way we can actually use our abilities at some point. However, 19 doesn't feel great, but I'm sure we can get a +1 and make that a 20 relatively easily, right? Am I hating this? Should I do this? This is exactly why we're going to be streaming some of these episodes, because there are going to be times where I'm not too confident in what I should be picking. But I think that we can make adjustments. All right, our final stats. Strength at 10, dexterity 14, constitution 14, intelligence 13, wisdom 12, and charisma 18. Now, charisma lends itself to social situations, so I want my persuasion to be pretty high. Mobility, we might be able to use just to get away from enemies a little bit easier, but lore of nature should come naturally to me. We have 3 more points to spend too. Sure, mobility sounds fun. Moving around the battlefield can't be bad. I could also get use magical device, although I don't know how often that will come up. And you know what? Let's get, a little bit of knowledge of the world. Why not? I don't need knowledge of magic. I just need knowledge of the world. Now, this was a pretty daunting list when I first looked at it. This is all of the feats that our character is capable of learning. If it'll let me grab the scroll bar, I could scroll a little bit faster, but here you are. It is quite a lot. Like, I've already seen this before and I'm starting to get overwhelmed again. Yes, that's right. I am still scrolling down, and I can take any of these. I do want to get, oh, I can just get wings. Hello? I do want to give credit to the UI team here. Maybe this is, you know, a normal part of Pathfinder and I just haven't seen it before, but I thought this was a great way of relaying information. Of course, all of this can be very overwhelming to a newcomer, and I am a newcomer. However, level 1, I get all this stuff on the left. Level 2, I get these upgrades to a basic attack bonus and whatever these other symbols are, fortitude and will. I'll get increases of that at level 2. Am I going to get any new spells? Looks like I will be able to cast another level 1 spell at level 2. And that's it. At level 3, I get a feat. I get bonuses here. I unlock level 2 spells. This is really, really easy to digest, and I just want to commend them for it because this could be extremely overwhelming, more so than it already is, but I think that's very well done. So my plan here is actually going to be to pick up spell penetration. I don't have the metagame knowledge to know if this is going to be useful all the time or if this is even a good pickup for me. And I just want to say, if you guys let me know down in the comments that I've done everything wrong, it's not going to be that big of a deal to remake this character. And honestly, with this game being on PC, I don't think it'll be that long before character editors come out. So all of this shit can be redone. It's not a big deal at all. But spell penetration, your spells break through spell resistances more easily than most. You get a +2 bonus on caster level checks, 1d20 plus caster level made to overcome a creature's spell resistance. And if we decide that we like where this is going, later on, we can also get greater spell penetration or mythic spell penetration as well, whatever that means. Now we get to choose which form our animal companion will take. And as you can see, there's quite a long list here. One of these is a giant centipede. That's pretty terrifying. Holy crap. What can I say? I'm a sucker for bear companions, dude. And this has been a thing for so long. I think it's ever since the World of Warcraft cinematic back in vanilla where the dwarf is walking over the hill with his bear companion. Just something about that has always captivated me. So I think that's what we're going to go with. I mean, the point of this is that I get into my character's mindset, right? And having a bear companion sounds pretty fucking cool. We also get to select our deity here. We're going to go with Gorza. Actually, I need to go back because I did not select my domain. My domain is simply going to be the plant domain. You find solace in the green. You can grow defensive thorns and you can communicate with plants. Enlarge is a swift action. You can enlarge yourself for 1 round as if you were the target of the enlarge person spell. You can use this power a number of times per day, equal to 3 plus your wisdom modifier. And I'll be honest, we don't really have a great wisdom modifier here. Also at level 6, we gain bramble armor. You can cause a host of wooden thorns to burst from your skin as a free action. While bramble armor is in effect, any foe striking you with a melee weapon without reach takes 1d6 points of piercing damage. Plus 1 point per 2 levels you possess in the class that gave you access to this domain. You can use this ability for a number of rounds per day equal to your level in the class that gave you access to the domain. These rounds do not need to be consecutive. We also gain access to Entangle, Barkskin, Contagion, Thorn Body, Vine Trap, Beast Shape of Shambling Mound, specifically, it seems. Change Staff, Mind Blank, Communal, Mind Blank. I don't know what most of that is. Hello, this is MFPallytime from the future, even more tired now than he was during the recording. I didn't realize that these 2 things were exclusive, so I picked the bear companion and then immediately got rid of it for the other thing. So I mentioned a little bit later, or maybe I already did, if I messed up, I'm going to go back and redo it. I'm definitely going back and I'm getting the bear. You know, if you guys want to see more. Our deity is going to be Gazra. It's a dualistic deity of nature, a god of the storm and sky, and also the goddess of the wave and surf. Born of the ocean's fury and the wind's wrath, Gazra is a fickle deity. Domains air, animal, plant, water, and weather. Now, I am going to try to be nice to people. That's usually how I relate to characters. However, we do have the option of being neutral evil as well. Now, let's design our character really fast.
Ah, a test of my abilities.
And we get to pick our character's voice.
The road calls me. I'll take the bait.
I kind of like Mad Woman.
I do not find this to be useful. Strike with all your might.
Aim carefully.
Heal me quickly.
This will hurt.
The spell's not working. That's mean.
Cover me.
I'm wounded.
Mad Woman it
Your
is.
entrails, please.
Our character's name is going to be Liz. I think I named a warlock this in Baldur's Gate. I just really like the name. It's easy to say. And I feel like a tiefling would pick something simple as their name if they could pick it. You know, maybe I have a demon name, but I just go by Liz because it's easier to see. This is the entirety of our character sheet. This is everything that we have done up until this point. And now we can begin the game. I think that's us on the stretcher right there.
Hey, somebody! We got a wounded fighter. Can we get a healer over here?
Yeah, that would be great.
My, would you look at this? But why would you drag a wounded fighter into the middle of the festival square? Couldn't she be carted off somewhere else like, oh, I don't know, an infirmary? Or an accommodating ditch?
Well, I like the infirmary idea. I don't know about the second one.
Make room, everyone. Step back. Now, what's the matter? What happened to her?
You hear a stern voice of an elderly man,
Looks nasty.
but you're so weak you can't even turn your head to look in his direction.
Demons, prelate. We found her barely alive outside the walls of Canabris.
Oh, if demons are attacking, being a tiefling probably doesn't bode well.
The walls, you say? Enemy doesn't usually stray so close to the city. Must fortify the defenses. And you, hold fast. Don't die. We'll see you right. We'll get you patched up now. But first, you there, guard. Take her weapons. Bearing arms is not permitted during the festival. Wounded or not, everyone must abide by the rules. She can get her things back after the festival.
Yeah, no problem. Do I even hear any of this?
O Inheritor, leader of our troops, the sharpened edge of our blades and the unyielding strength of our armor, Iomade, I beseech you, grant your mercy, heal her wounds.
The magic envelops you, but your pain lessens only slightly. I'm gonna say I won't give up that easily.
Hear, hear! That's the Crusader spirit. My powers are not enough here. Someone call for Terendelev. You there! Yes, you! Stop dithering and gawping and make yourself useful. Go and get Terendelev.
Prelate, surely there is somebody else here better suited to running errands.
Camilla, as she was saying that, raises her head in a affectation of surprise.
I'll get her! Terendelev! Has anyone seen Terendelev?
Be quick about it before it's too late. Now, who are you? I don't remember seeing you before, and I have an excellent memory for faces.
The old man is leaning over me right now. You know, I'm just a traveler, just a druid, just a nomad, just passing by.
Just passing by? And how am I to know that you're not a demon spy? Or worse?
Why would you possibly suspect me?
My dear prelate, please, for the sake of the festivities, stop interrogating this poor woman. She has been through enough already. Go on. I'll take care of her.
All right, as you wish. You are our protector, and a dragon at that, so I shall defer to your wisdom.
A dragon?
Be on your guard. I've been informed she was wounded near Canabris. That means the demons are prowling just outside the walls, and the city is crawling with their spies. Others may be able to relax on this holiday, but not you or I. Not the defenders of the city.
Muttering discontently, the old man walks off.
Pry loose the grudging grip of pain. Cast off the veil of suffering flesh. Let light and life go forth in triumph to repel the skulking shade of death.
That fixed me up pretty well. It says a beautiful silver-haired woman leans over you. She seems ageless. Her face woolly unlined, but centuries-old sadness gleams in her eyes. The longer she speaks, the stronger her voice becomes as she was healing us. Thank you so much for helping me.
I accept your thanks, but my work is not yet done.
What happened to me?
I do not know yet, and that troubles me. I am not entirely sure what the demons did to you. This wound is no ordinary injury, and it was inflicted by no ordinary weapon. I have rid you of your pain and restored your strength, but only time will allow you to heal fully.
Are you really a dragon?
You don't believe me? Perhaps I should retake my true form and engulf this square with my ice breath to win your trust. Pay no mind to my current guise. I appear this way when I walk among the people. I would hamper the festivities if I tried to attend in my true form.
So, who are you then?
My name is Terendelev. I am the protector of the city.
And you're a dragon. Okay, I think I get it. Can I go?
Certainly, but be careful. I have managed to get you back on your feet, but I have not healed you fully. Alas, sooner or later, your pain will return.
Well, it always does.
But do not be discouraged. You will recover, I promise you that. Tomorrow, come to the cathedral and say that you are expected by Terendelev, protector of Canabris. We will find a way to help you. But for now, put this out of your mind and enjoy the festival. They are all too rare in this time of war, and merriment is one of the best medicines.
That was actually a super warm welcome. You know, other than, being accused of being a demon spy. But, I get it. I get it. Canabris is a city poised on the border between two worlds. On one side, the ordinary. On the other, text that goes away too quickly. When a quest updates, so I have a journal. I know how to move. We have some basic spells that we can cast here. We also have our party portraits on the bottom of the screen. By default, we have Cure Light Wounds, Snowball, Entangle, Dismiss Spell, and Enlarge. And we can cast Enlarge a few times per day, so let's do it. We're going to be the life of the party here. If we hold tab, we can then see everyone around us. And, if anyone has a special name that might be standing out in the midst of this, we can also rotate the camera around as much as we want to, which is really, really nice to be able to change your perspective. So, have fun. You've got to take a break from fighting sometime. The square is packed with numerous entertainments. Time to set aside thoughts of war and just enjoy yourself. Sample the special festival drinks, throw a dart at the targets, and hit the mannequin are our current objectives. I believe we can go right over here and try our hand at throwing a dart. You can see this hand as an interactable object inside of the world. You can interact with various objects, just click on it. We already know all of this. So, how do I throw my dart? Woo! Did I win? Take that, normal people. That's Liz for you, just walking up and winning first place. Yeah, what of it? There's a mannequin over here we could try ourselves at swinging at. Sack 'em one. Do I just right click on it again? I can't really interact with it either. I just hit spacebar that time. Is that normal?
Crusader gods, behold Ione, you poor imposter. Your city will fall to me. Your followers will feed my hunger.
Did you think this game was going to start out on a happy note?
Discari, Lord of Locusts, leave my city!
Get out of here!
Let the feast begin.
Pretty abrupt. The most powerful person we have met so far just got decapitated in the town square.
Discari himself. Blimey! One minute we had a dragon, the next, bam, she was gone. What are you gonna do? Fight or flee? If fleeing's your plan, let me help you out. I've got a scroll here with a good protective spell.
Okay, first of all, why would there be any hesitation to completely flee everything you could see here? But the halfling's armor is splashed with blood, and he is armed to the teeth with a sword, a blade, and a hatchet on his belt, and a crossbow on his back. His voice sounds familiar to you. Have I seen you somewhere before?
Yeah, you have. You owe me your life. I'm the one who found you outside the walls and brought you inside to be healed. I see they've patched you up. Good thing they did it before the attack, or else you'd have been done for.
So he's the one who brought us inside. He's the one who saved us originally. And it sounds like he wants to save us again. I'm not going to ask any more questions. I do not want to fight the demons. Let's look for a way out of here. Give me that spell.
Right away. Stand still now. No fidgeting while I cast this on you. Good luck! Try not to get eaten now!
The halfling's words are drowned out by a terrible rumbling and rustling of countless tiny wings.
Take that, buckhead.
A mortal gnat snaps its jaws at the Lord of Locusts. Behold, Ione. Behold the death I sow.
Well, with the swing of his weapon, he opened up a hole in the center of the town that we just
The silver
so
dragon,
happened to fall into.
Terendelev, the defender of Canabras, fell in battle. Hardly surprising, as she had to fight the demon lord Discari himself. He willed the land to part and swallow all who dared to stand in his way. But the war was still far from over.
I've played through a little bit of this area, and I absolutely love the lighting down here. I think they did an excellent job with that. If we look at our spell book, we have resistance, light. How do I tell if a spell is a cantrip or not? I know some of these are. Are all the ones on the left just cantrips? Well, we can look at our spells later. I think I hear someone up ahead. Are you guys okay?
Oh, holy mother of...
A small woman with messy brown hair winces in pain, uttering a stream of curses through clenched teeth. She is pinned to the ground by a couple of weighty boulders.
Hey, stay with me. You actually got pretty lucky. You fell down into a black hole. But at least you're not on your own. You've got a great companion. Everything's going to be just fine. Tell me something. Can you feel your legs?
The young woman in knight's armor studies the rocks intently, clearly trying to work out how to move them.
I feel them all right. Wouldn't say no to a little less feeling in them. My ankle's killing me, but my back seems to still be in one piece. My head, too.
That's all that matters. Now, we're going to... Hey! Fancy meeting you down here. You're the one that Terendelev healed today, right? You aren't injured, are you? Will you help me get her out from under the boulders?
Spotting you, the knight reaches for her sheathed weapon. But after scrutinizing your face momentarily, she raises her hand in greeting. Now we have the option to say, "Why should I help you?" Or use some of our character's skills to maybe conquer this obstacle. With our athletics, we could run up and I guess try to just get her out from under there. Or we could use our knowledge of the world. You don't have to rely on brute strength. I'll try to find some kind of lever. That's what I'm going to try. You quickly find some suitable sticks and you free the wounded woman from the rubble without even breaking a sweat. You have successfully made a skill check and helped Sela pull Anevia from beneath the rubble. If you had failed the check, Sela would have had to act alone and she would have become fatigued and incurred a temporary penalty to some of her abilities. Fuck yeah!
Look at you! It's good to meet someone who uses brains first.
It is so dark in here. Can we turn the lights on?
Damn it all. I think it's broken. Oh well, I've had worse. I'll just make myself a splint out of something. Thanks for the help. I wouldn't have lasted long on my own stuck under there. I'm Anevia Tirabade of the Eagle Watch. I was overseeing security at the festival square. I thought maybe spies or demon worshippers.
How did that go?
Something nasty planned. What actually happened, though? Now that I did not see coming. I don't think anyone could have been prepared for that.
You think Anevia is going to have a job when she gets back up there? Security. Hey, you tried your best.
Well, I'm Sela, paladin by the grace of Iomade. I crossed the whole continent to come to Mendev and fight demons. And well, I've been fighting for a while now. I don't even want to think what might be happening up there in the city. Canabres has lost the protection of Terendelev, and of the Wardstone too, looks like. It's a relic without equal. It was placed here personally by Iomade's herald, with the goddess's blessing. I really wanted to go see it, to pray before it. But there's no point worrying about a stone when there are people dying in the streets.
As she was saying all of this, her expression darkened.
Yeah, things are looking grim enough, but don't lose heart. Wardstone or no, dragon or no, Canabres will never give in. Simple as. Well, we've introduced ourselves. What about you?
Hi, my name's Liz.
Good to meet you. Now, tell us all about yourself.
Whoa, girl. Slow down. Exchanging names is enough for now. We don't have time to be swapping life stories. We need to find a way out of here.
Sure.
Now then, I'll hobble my way out of here somehow. The city ain't far, only 30 paces or so. That's if you're going straight up, of course. I'm afraid we're gonna have to go the long way round.
As she was saying that, she tightly ties off the twine on her improvised splint, and she's leaning on a stick now, but hauls herself to her feet.
To summarize, there are 3 of us with 5 working legs, 3 pairs of decent hands, 2 clear heads, and 1 made of wood. That's mine. Underground monsters beware! Anevia, you stay behind us. You're in no fit state to fight. If we do come up against anything, the 2 of us will try to manage on our own first. Well, onward! May the good deities lead us back to the open sky soon.
Hear, hear. All right, now we have a party. We can choose to control these guys in a number of ways. There's a few different things we could do. For instance, this is kind of our marching order, our formation as we are heading into things. I believe At least I thought I could before. Hold shift to move characters. Oh, well, excuse me. Maybe it was when we had more characters on my other druid. I was able to summon in a companion already. But I was able to just drag our formation around. There we go, perfectly. So I can put our tank up front, which is Sela and myself in the back. And now whenever I have both of these characters selected, this will be our marching order. And I'll be back here completely safe, hopefully. And because it's a little dark in here, we can try using light on Sela as well. Now the area around her will be illuminated. Beautiful. As we move forward, if we hold tab, we can see some chests that we can interact with. These have a cloak of resistance inside, a short spear, a scimitar. Ooh, that's just for us, actually. We have scimitar proficiency because of our class background. Now, will I actually be using this in melee all the time? I don't know, but we can certainly equip it right now. Also, the Cloak of Resistance grants the wearer +1 resistance bonus on all saving throws. Bonuses of the same type don't normally stack. We can just equip that onto our back right now. The inventory is shared between all characters, although I don't know if individual like strength weights and stuff affect this. Maybe it's always just 400 pounds. I actually have no idea at all. On the ground next to us, as everything is rumbling, there's also Terendelv's scale on the ground. You restore life to a deceased party member. Beautiful. I increased the text size of this game thinking it would be easier for you guys to read on YouTube, but it seems it's actually messing up some of the tooltips. Didn't even see this person. A fine apparel of this young half-elf woman is torn and stained with blood, dust, and dirt. However, she holds herself with such dignity that you would be forgiven for thinking you were at a high society party, and not in a dank catacomb under the city. Her fingers grip her rapier hilt with confidence, ready to draw it at a moment's notice. At her feet lies a dead body, so mutilated that at first glance it's hard to tell if it is an animal or a human. This is one of the people we saw in the town center.
Relax, friend. We're not demons or cultists. Don't poke my eye out with that thing, all right? We fell down here during the attack. I'm Sela, that's Anevia, and this is our new friend. We're looking for a way back to the surface.
Really? I'm so ever glad to hear it. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Camellia. I was also in the square when... I can scarcely believe it. How did all those demons get into the city? I thought, naively it now seems, that the Wardstone protected us from attack. And Terendelev, I can't wrap my head around it.
Now, I believe our party dynamic can change quite drastically throughout the course of the game based on the decisions that we make, the areas that we explore, the people we interact with. But we're actually getting a pretty decent party composition here at the beginning. The girl relaxes slightly, but she keeps her hand on her sheathed weapon while she was talking to us. Her self-control falters for a moment, and you glimpse the fear beneath her mask of perfect placidity. She licks her lips nervously. Well, I mean, I'd be pretty stressed out here as well. Hey, do you want to join us?
Certainly. Survivors should stick together. It's only sensible. Who knows what else could be prowling about in these caves?
All right, we need to keep moving, for real.
That's right. It would be the height of foolishness to survive a demon attack only to perish under a pile of rubble.
Let's see if this poor bloke has anything useful on him. Not to sound like a heartless brigand or nothing, but we kinda need all the supplies we can get right now.
She has the ability to cure light wounds, and it looks like they want me to do that now. So all we do is click on Camilla's portrait, then click on Cure Light Wounds, and then click on herself. I believe she is a shaman class. Some of you will know what that means. I don't. And we're gonna just change up our formation a little bit here as we're moving forward. Click and drag to highlight everybody, and then we will keep going. The game telling us a little bit about lighting, and we have our first combat here. When combat begins, the game is paused. We know that already. However, initiative was rolled for each character, and the centipedes were able to go first. I'm not sure if they had surprise or not, but here we are, our first encounter. And again, the game is in turn-based mode because I went into the options and set it to that. That's my preferred playstyle. 2 centipedes ahead of us. They are young giant centipedes, so hopefully they don't pose too much of a threat. We're just going to auto-attack the first one with Sela, and that was super-duper easy. And then I actually think I'm going to hold my ground here and skip out on the rest of my turn. Now with Liz, melee combat's not going to be my forte, but moving up with the scimitar, and it looks like we were successful in taking down another one of the small insects. Let's step forward with Camellia. I don't know if I'll be able to do anything else. Let's just stand next to Liz and make sure that she is okay. The centipede moving up is going to take a swing at us. It rolled a 3, but we have an AC of 12, so that attack did not connect. AC just stands for armor class, and basically every action that happens in this game has a dice roll associated with it. As I go to attack, if I can, I used up too much of my movement, so I'm not going to be able to. As I go to attack with Liz, you'll be able to see what I rolled versus the young giant centipede's AC above its head. So we rolled a 17. It has an armor class of 10. Because 17 is higher, our attack then connects. However, we were not able to finish it off entirely. Let's take a swing with the rapier. That was successful, and it looks like the area in front of us has been cleared out.
I crave for adventure.
With everyone selected, we'll continue down this claustrophobic hallway. We do find one more of the dragon scales
Trail me.
on the ground here.
The road calls.
We might be able to get the jump on this guy here. Unfortunately, I can't swap my skills around until I rest, which I don't believe we're able to do here, right? We cannot camp here. So one thing I could try would be Entangle. It would definitely let you see some of the cooler spell effects, but it's a giant fly. So I actually think it would walk over my Entangle. Let's just move in with some auto attacks here. The game telling us about turn-based mode. We do not need that. Looks like only one enemy here. The green bar that you're seeing as our character is moving forward is the available movement on a character's turn. As it approaches the yellow bar, that means we're using our action to continue that movement. So for Liz, as I hover over the fly, if I left click, it's all green, so I'll be able to walk up to this target and attack, whereas our other character actually moved so much that it cost them an attack in the process. We can alleviate some of this by using charge on Sela, which will allow us to get into range faster. However, the area just a little bit blocked, and I'm not going to be able to finish that off. Sela's movement really on the low side. Anevia, our companion with the hurt leg, does fire off a shot from the arrow, hitting the gigantic fly dead center, a centipede on the far side of the room. Let's go ahead and show you the ability. I think it's really cool. This is Entangle. And I thought I knew what Entangle would do, but look at what Entangle does, dude. How cool is that? So now, our party, if we move into that, is going to be super slowed. So that's clearly not something that we want to do. However, we can just have our companions move up to the edge of the roots and hold our ground. There are 2 centipedes inside of the entanglement. And the idea here being we want them to slowly move up towards us and kind of control the tide of battle here. Once again, our wounded companion does take a shot all on her own with that bow, finishing off a target. We're going to continue to just hold our ground here as the centipede moves forward. It's spells like this that get me really excited about playing my character. I want to control the environment. I want to use nature against my adversaries, and I'm super excited to continue playing this druid. Now, I do have, like I said, some D&D experience, but I only got up to, I think, level 5, level 6.
What's in wait for me?
I did do a lot of research, and I do digest a lot of D&D media, but I understand that Pathfinder's on a completely different rule set. So I am interested to see like how ridiculous things get as we actually like continue to level up. I know like level 20's in this game, right? They have a bunch of stuff listed for high levels. Can you actually get to level 20? Anyway. If we want to end that route, all we would have to do is cast Dismiss Spell on Liz, and that would get rid of it. No problem. All right, moving forward, let's highlight everybody and head towards the next bud. We are in formation, getting ready for battle, and it looks like, once again, just slightly out of range for Seelah. That would have been a good opportunity to use that charge. You know, Liz's movement is not as bad as I expected. I imagine a lot of Seelah's inability to move is because her armor is so heavy. Whoa, you have 20 AC at level 1? Holy crap! One swing of the long sword takes down the centipede. I believe this is just a side path here, but I want to explore these paths whenever we can. There is some loot in here. Flame tongue. This is a cooking ingredient. You can use it to cook something while resting. Fantastic. We also find rainbow quartz as well. That might be valuable. Found the loot of another adventurer left on the ground here in the corner. This is back where we left the original roots down. They have bracers of armor in here. These bracers grant the wearer a bonus of +1, just as though they were wearing armor. This is usually like monk and caster focused gear, if I'm understanding that right.
Open your heart to me.
Camellia did take a little bit more damage, so let's go ahead and use her second heal. That's going to bring her back up to full health. If we take a look at the map, you can see it's actually pretty nice. Your camera is represented on the map. This took me a little while to get used to. The eye of the camera is going to be the bottom of your screen. That orientation took me a while to get, but once I got it, I actually really enjoyed using the map. It updates in real time as we move around, and you can see I scouted over here, and there's a loot icon over there. But that's not the only thing that's over there.
Wherever.
Hey, bud.
No, I can't just walk away. It's got to be here somewhere.
You struggle to make out the man's features in the gloom. As soon as he steps into the circle of light, however, you realize that you have never encountered a creature like this before. The stranger looks like the work of a vivisectionist who attempted to stitch together a lizard and a man. The man notices you and freezes. The curling horn protruding from his head casts a malevolent shadow on the cave wall.
Lan, did you find it? Who is that?
The woman looks just as strange as her companion, like a cross between a cat and a spider. When she catches sight of you, she immediately drops into a fighting stance. Her movements reveal the lethal grace of a wild predator.
The do-gooders here to save our mongrel souls, no doubt. Wait, they might know what's going on up there.
So 1 through 5 is a conversation continuation. However, we could go for number 6 and just attack. Monsters like you don't deserve to live. And that would be a branch of our story that we could not undo. And we would have to live with those consequences. Demons are laying waste to the surface.
If things are as bad as you say, then we all have to hurry.
You didn't come from the direction of the shield mace. Damn it. I couldn't care less about what's happening on the surface, but the maze...
I realize that you guys have your own troubles, but we need to be in Canabres. People are dying up there. Please, show us the way out.
What is this place that we're in right now?
This is the hall where we remember the glory of our forebears. Sorry about the mess. It doesn't usually look like this, trust me. Sometimes we even wipe the dust off the exhibits.
Well, that's nice.
This is where the relics of the first Crusaders are displayed. Our lives are short. Our glories are quickly forgotten. But this place helps us to remember that we are just as worthy as anyone else. And that our lives are not lived in vain.
The first Crusaders? You've been down here that long? That's crazy.
So what are you doing in this room?
That's none of your bit.
We're looking for a holy sword. It was here, in the center, sticking out of a rock. The sooner we find it, the better. Some kids from our tribe took off for the shield maze. They figured it had collapsed, and now it's their time to go up to the surface, like all the legends foretold.
You're looking for a holy sword.
Except they don't have a clue what's waiting for them up there. They're not fighters. And Saul, the chief of our tribe, is dead set against it. He says that now isn't the time for the underground crusaders to take up arms. If we get the holy sword, we might be able to change the chief's mind.
It's a fool's errand. None of us will be able to hold the sword, let alone use it to save anyone. It's not an ordinary weapon. It's made from righteous heavenly flame and will burn anyone who touches it. Do you think you're special, Lan?
I'll pick it up with my teeth and tie it to my hand if I have to. It doesn't matter. An angel's sword and a troop of stalwart mongrels will be able to work a minor miracle. Speaking of which, you're still here, Wendu, which means that deep down, you know it's possible.
Okay, a sword of holy flame? How did it end up down here? We'll find the sword faster if we work together. I'll help you, sure. Let's just keep moving.
Thanks. An extra pair of eyes can only help. The sword will be easy enough to spot. It looks, swordy. Help us, and in return, we'll get you out of here.
If it's easy to spot, why haven't you found it?
Talking. Let's get to work. It's a good thing we all bumped into each other, isn't it?
Yeah, happy little coincidence.
What, you want to find the sword quickly so the underground monsters bring you back to the surface? So be it.
I mean, that would be nice. Would that be so bad? Is that really worth complaining about? Devoured by darkness, the more people who pitch in to help look for the sword in the collapsed cave, the sooner you'll find it. Some interactive options aren't easy to find. Moving past such an object, every character automatically makes a perception skill check. If the check is successful, the object is found. It is highlighted, drawing your attention, and can now be interacted with. So let's highlight everybody and just do a nice lap of the room. Can we learn about this statue?
I am helpful, am I not?
The statue is of an unknown knight. The technique is crude, but the figure was clearly crafted with genuine feeling. Judging by the style of armor, the knight is from the First Crusade. If we take a look at the loot, we get some edible moss, as well as more of the flame tongue that we found earlier.
Forwards! No backwards, backwards!
Ooh, loot on the ground. It's a copper ring. We could probably sell that in town. More loot found on the ground. I like that our whole party does the checks all at one time, rather than individual characters having to do each thing. It's nice that you could just highlight everybody and get it done. Grinding stone in here. We can jump over this rubble if we decide that we don't want to look around anymore.
No secrets.
Let's check maybe the back of the room here. Well, that looks like a sword. A strange flash pierces the gloom, and Liz feels drops of searing blood run down her chest. The wound healed by Terendelev reopens and weeps scarlet. There is no pain or weakness. A hazy scene appears, a cave chamber. This one or another one entirely. Liz's heartbeat quickens, and a stream of thoughts suddenly burst into her mind. Thoughts that clearly belong to another. Treachery! They betrayed me, trapped me, and stabbed me in the back. My trusted allies, my treasured friends, the people I swore to protect. The people for whom I descended from heaven and came to this turbulent mortal world. They were up ahead, in the gloom of the cave. What were they waiting for? Are they afraid to draw any closer? Do they believe I am about to die from their traitorous blows? Next to me, a quiet moan. A girl with golden braids lies on the rocks, clutching her slashed side. She refused to join the traitors and paid dearly for it. I could have tried to run, but I will not. While I have the strength. While recognizing the foreign origin of these thoughts, Liz intuits that she can control them somehow. Let's try to heal the wounded girl. A spark of healing magic illuminates the eerie, murky scene before Liz. The wounded girl opens her eyes and whispers, "L'Oreal, you said that everything was going to change soon. You said you and the other warriors of heaven would be leaving us on a grand mission to stop the demons forever. Is that true?" The frenzy of foreign thoughts comes faster and faster, and like a rushing river, and images flash by one after another. A priestess in colorful robes observing the stars, a young female paladin praying, clutching her glowing sword, a majestic golden winged angel gazing into the distance, the face covered by a helmet, but his voice ringing clear. "Only if you're willing, and only if you're ready. There is no going back." "Then don't waste your strength healing me," the girl whispers. "Your mission is more important. You take care. It is near." There in the vision, the darkness in the cave stirs into motion. Something massive appears from within the depths, a vague shadow, an outline, a nightmare come to life. A wave of odious chirruping and rustling emanates from the shadow, the sound piercing like hot irons lancing through flesh and bone. The traitors fall to their knees before the shadow in reverent ecstasy, and the wounded girl thrashes in her death throes. The yawning chest wound burns white hot. Liz's head pounds with pain, and it's no longer clear whose pain she is feeling. The person called L'Oreal who sent this vision, or the one unlucky enough to receive it. We can try to use our will, and I could be determined to fight off the illusion, or use our knowledge of arcana. Neither of these is gonna be super easy, but let's try our will. Succeeded! The force of the attack, though originating in a vision, is terrifying, but Liz is stronger. She shakes off the pain and torpor, but alas, the one who sent the vision cannot claim the same. He is broken and exhausted. A monstrous shadow emerges from the murk of the cave. It is not real. It exists only in this strange vision or memory, but the thrill of fear it provokes is more than real. The shadow's features starkly resemble those of the Deskari, the terrifying demon lord. In a moment as swift as thought itself, the monster's hand is wrapped around the throat of the one they call L'Oreal. The foolish angel struggling on the rocks, like a fly with its wings torn off. Intones the shadow, its voice changing as it moves, shifting from quiet whispering to a sonorous shout, becoming young and then old and quivering. "Where is your goddess, angel?"
Where is her self-assured herald? How is it that you're dying here alone, so far from the light of heaven?
Strange calm envelops the thoughts of the one called L'Oreal. He recognizes who stands before him, and he knows he will never bow down before this enemy. The flaming sword flares to life in his hand, bright, pure, flickering with multicolored sparks like a sunbeam through stained glass. And then a slash! The blade slices through the demonic creature's flesh, and the monster recoils with a howl, releasing his grip on L'Oreal's throat. The angel falls back heavily on the rocks. His vitality is ebbing, but his pride remains undiminished. He grips the sword, and within his last burst of strength, he plunges it into the rock. Liz senses the vision is fading, the rush of thoughts diminishing, like a river running dry. The last thing she hears is this.
You will kill me, monster. This I know. But one day someone will come here and raise up my sword. They will raise up my sword and save and protect the innocent.
The vision disappears, vanishing in a burst of color. Liz does not hear the final words, but she seems to complete the thought, taking it to heart. The words fly from her lips, and with them something else. The heat blazing in Liz's chest fades away. The edges of the scarlet wound close, leaving not even a scar behind. Looking down, Liz sees the flaming sword in her hand, or rather, its outline. The memory of what the sword looked like. With a final surge of warm and soothing light, the sword vanishes, and the light is drawn into her hand. Liz senses that it will return. All she needs do is call it.
Hey, are you all right? You were kinda glowing just now.
Yeah. Sela kneels before the light, offering up a prayer.
That was it. The light of heaven, but how?
What did you do with it? Where did it go?
I think I saw the memories of L'Oreal. He was an angel who died here.
L'Oreal? That really was L'Oreal? The angel from the legends. The ancestors even got his name right on the gravestone. The chief will be thrilled.
Yeah.
You. Thousands of gongs and no one's been able to touch it. And now you, an ordinary creature of flesh and blood, no different to us, get the sword and start talking about visions.
Now, Wendowog, don't be a sore loser. She is clearly different from us. The sword appeared before her, along with the angel's name and all that other stuff, because she doesn't carry our mongrel taint. Heaven doesn't give a damn how special we are. We're born with evil inside us. Heaven doesn't need to know any more than that. I know you're willing to tear anyone apart to uphold our people's honor, but you and Sol, you just refuse to face the truth. We are the way we are because our ancestors' bodies were corrupted by the abyss. It does the same thing to plants and animals. There's nothing heroic or special about it. It doesn't make us better, and it doesn't make us worthier.
So, if we pick the third option, it will reveal the sword in our hand, showing him that we can control it. And this is one of the Mythic Path quest lines in the game. I looked it up, and there are 10 of these. 10 different branching stories that we can choose to go down based on what interests us. So let's say that I was playing as a paladin and wanted to wield this holy sword. I could choose to start to harness its power right now. What happens if I just say, you saw it too? The traitors? The dying girl?
It's only us here. Your group, you, me, Wendu, and the light of heaven that sort of got, sucked into you. Any chance you can whip it out again? We do kinda need it. Sorry, I crack jokes when I get nervous. And when I'm upset. And when I'm happy. Anyway, what I said, it came out wrong. We need to bring you to Chief Sull. You can show everyone the light of heaven, we'll rally the tribe and go into the maze, and we'll get back our kin.
And what if she can't make it happen a second time? What then? The tribe will just say we're crazy and turn its back on us.
Well, it appears I have no other option. Now, this doesn't mean I'm committing to this quest line. This is just part of the tutorial. Look at that.
It's just... wow, I mean, that's amazing. Heaven has truly blessed you.
This power is the most majestic thing I've ever seen in all my life. Is this what the sun is like, Lan?
You've never seen the sun?
Yes, it's similar. But this light is more... golden? Chief Sull needs to see this. Now that we have the power of angels on our side, he can't say no. He'll have to assemble a troop to storm the maze. You Uplanders care about your kids, right? Help us save ours. Without them, we won't survive. And then, the perils of the maze won't be so bad if we go together. We'll make our way through it and find the way to Canabras.
All right, lead us to your chief, and I'll decide if I'm going to help you or not. It's up in the air right now.
Let's go. We'll take the short route. Well, the only route, really.
And with that, our party gathers by a skill check that we have to pass. Again, we can just kind of highlight everybody. Our party got a little bit bigger, and we can choose to jump over this and continue forward. However, that's where this video is going to end. Whether or not we make this a full playthrough or not, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I certainly hope you enjoyed your time here. Fun fact, I'm recording this at 8 in the morning after staying up all night. So if I sounded a little tired throughout any of this, that would be why. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget, it's up to you. Hit the thumbs up button if you want to see more, and we'll make it happen. Until next time, take care, guys. I'll see you again soon.